Today is about one of the biggest challenges I'm going to face, crossing the time zone. As we can see here, a big challenge I'm going to face on the route is the schedule, the time zone. And last week I traveled from LA to Hawaii back to Sydney, which is going to be the transition that I'm going through as I go from running 50 marathons in 50 states in America to 8 marathons in 8 states in Australia. Now, the big challenge here is with the time zone, are we sticking on a 24-hour schedule or are we sticking on a calendar day? Now, I'm going to be crossing 9 time zones, maybe 10 if you include Adelaide, and we're just going to take daylight savings out of it for the moment to simplify it. But we've got Eastern time all the way through Australian Western time. That's where it brings in the challenge around 24 hours and calendar day, which I'm stressing out a little bit about because there's so many pros and cons to both of it. And I would love to hear in the comments from you guys what your thoughts are, and I guess even standards, because when I watched the Iron Cowboy do his 50-50-50, he got roasted for some things. So I would love to almost get on the front foot, because I'm sure there's things that I haven't considered that I should probably be thinking about as I try to continue this into a completely different time zone. And let's say, for example, I am going from LA or San Fran on that. It's, I think Brisbane, and we're not even going to Brisbane, but let's say Sydney is pretty much 18 hours ahead. So in saying that, with the flight, you've obviously got to go from the flight to Hawaii. Now, San Fran to Hawaii is, let's say, 6 hours roughly, and then it's about 10, 11 hours from that to Sydney. So in and of itself, there's 6 hours without the time shift, and then also the layover. So you're looking at 16 hours, sorry. So there's a lot to consider there, and that's where it's like, okay, if I'm running up a 24-hour clock, as soon as I finish, the 24-hour clock begins before I have to start the next one. However, when I was coming back from Australia, I trained on Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. We flew out at 1 p.m. from Hawaii back to Sydney, and I landed 10 hours later, which was Thursday night at 8 p.m. So technically, even though it was a couple of hours or realistically the same day, I either had to do the run that time, which I didn't do because I was a problem that I was faced with, that I'm now like, okay, what am I going to do here? How am I going to resolve this? How am I going to communicate this to do this legitimately? Okay, we've got a couple here, but if you think about the 24 hours one, obviously the consistency works in my favor. It's going to help with recovery, being able to focus on performance, and also the adaptability, because if I know that after each marathon I have 24 hours before the next one, I can really establish and build a routine. And we know that routine helps, I guess, enhance everything that I'm doing, and especially when I'm under such stress and there's going to be a lot of things that pop up that I don't know. I think that consistency and routine is really going to help me out there. As with the calendar one, it's obviously a lot easier to coordinate when I'm communicating with people, and even integration with the apps. It's like every day it's done. So Monday through to Monday, we're running, it's happening. I don't have to worry about the blurred lines. It's just as long as it says on my apps and the integration and calendars that I ran on that day, I ran a marathon, then that's a tick of approval. So there's going to be some things, and I would love to hear from you guys. What have I not thought about? I've got a list over here. I didn't want to put them all here for you guys at the moment because I'd love to hear what you think and if I'm forgetting anything. But that's going to be a key thing to consider and a big challenge that I'm going to face, and I really want to clarify before I kick it off so that I can communicate it with you guys, and we have a set of rules to really establish this world first challenge. That's what we want to do. So I don't want to keep talking around in circles with this one, but that's a scheduling issue that I want to talk about. Other things that have been going well this week, I had 2 meetings. So now that we're back in Australia, I've been very fortunate to get back into training. So I'm training out of the gym, function well, getting my strength training back on track. So far I've hit 2 strength training sessions, I've hit a cross training session, and I've done my 3 runs for the week so far, and the training has gone really well. As you'll hear from my coach Dean, and as well I'll share a few clips of what we're focusing on this week. The next part is nutrition. So at the moment I'm really starting to build up my calories so that I can recover better and I'm feeling fueled. The idea of going from 2,000 calories to 4,000 calories like I was recommended is too big a jump for me, so I'm just gradually increasing week in, week out with the nutrition. Sponsors, I had a meeting this morning and we managed to get a deal over the line, and same with yesterday afternoon. So while no money's come into the account, what we are doing is we've just sent the proposals through, and they're gonna come back to me so that we can sort of tailor them a little bit, because a really important thing with this run and future events that we're doing is not just about the injection of cash to get this done. We want to be able to align with brands and people who really believe in what we're doing, the charity that we're supporting, but also what I'm doing, the support. So being able to get their story around what they're buying into, how it's impacted their life, is something that I want to tell on this journey as well. So we're making sure we do it properly, because I've done things in the past and I haven't done them well, from the 30 marathons in 30 days and 12-hour challenges. So this is going to be different. The crew's coming together now. The biggest challenge I'm, having at the moment is this. Last week's documentary did well. We had about, I think we're up to 800 views on a 10-minute video, which is really big for what I've been getting. And I'm using ChatGPT to help guide that. And I'll do a whole video on it, but now I want to start bringing you guys along for some training and various other things like that. It's now that I'm back in routine, I'm really excited to do that, and I'm going to continue to challenge myself and push myself to get this done. So that's this week. If you guys have any questions about it, or once again have any feedback or perspectives or advice, I'm out here trying to be the first person ever to run 58 marathons in 58 states across 58 days, and those being 2 separate countries, as I've mentioned, Australia and the USA. So there's a lot of stuff that I've got to get covered, and I want to share as much of this journey with you as possible. So the more questions you guys ask me, not only will I be able to answer that for you and give you where I'm up to with that, it's probably going to get me thinking about things that maybe I haven't thought of. So make sure you follow the journey, hit the subscribe button, follow me over on Instagram, and I'm going to do my best to continue getting better at these videos, sharing more content and documenting this incredible experience. My name's Lachlan Stewart. I'm here to prove every man can.